Glad you made it. And relieved. The level of environmental corruption down here is... And comms are still disrupted. Can you hear? No time to explain. I recommend yellow alert. The Chimerans have placed beacons in the system to summon more of their kind. Clear the system and stay alert. Those beacons are emitting a powerful psionic signal.
Screech, squirm. The Zanresi feast on the thrill of your despair. Your vessel will be absorbed, devoured, every piece of matter consumed.
MIDAS Array sensors indicate you've destroyed a beacon. Keep it up. The array beam is a triquantum pulse wave. It's holding that unstable portal open.
From hull to husk, your vessel will be dissected, no, contorted, no, consumed.
On an energy spike originating from the multiversal portal. Borg vessel incoming. Its quantum signature matches our universe, but it's been infected by the Chimerans.
Rise and twist, ship by ship. Devour, consume. Feasting.
Well done. I've cleared up the array's comms, but I'm not sure how long it'll last. Alliance reports indicate that this Chimeran Borg vessel traveled here from the 13 SETI system. Well, let's act fast. We need more data on that multiversal portal to shut it down. And without support on the ground, I won't be able to get the technology aboard the array that's holding it open. Right, to replicate the conditions that led to the portal's creation, and allow us to reverse engineer that process. Creative, and worth a shot. Can you transfer me the data in real time? This portal's chronometric signature places its conception at roughly 5 hours ago. That timestamp correlates with a localized rupture in space-time originating from an unknown source. Scans show the portal's drift vector has a decay rate of 0.015 radians per second, delayed by the array's triquantum pulse wave. If we invert the wave's polarity, we could engineer the opposite effect and expedite the portal's collapse. We can work with that. Hang on. Sensors are picking up an incoming energy signature. Brace yourselves. Something's coming through. Mayday, Mayday. This is Operator Z. This is a call into the void, I'm sure, but I gotta try. Structural integrity is compromised beyond repair and emergency protocols activated. Does anyone copy? Anyone? Array comms are failing again. Your signal is weak. I repeat, this is Tegan. This shuttle is about to blow. I'm setting a course for the nearest stable structure. Preparing for transport in 3, 2. The MIDAS Array has recorded an explosion near its central dish. Are you all right? I'm critically outnumbered. Need you to beam down here. And don't bring too much backup along. Safety in smaller numbers. And I'd never ask you to, but chances of survival are very low. As are mine if you don't make it down here soon. Act fast. Good. I see you made it aboard. However, your bridge officer is missing. Something caused your pattern to shift midstream. You've materialized in the wrong location. Signal is distant. Unfortunately, comms are still compromised. Likely to improve as you get closer. You'll need to find me in the shuttle bay. I'm in the middle of an experiment. Confirm some suspicions I've carried for a while now. Good luck, and stay alert. Everything all right? The Dax symbiont picked up on a psionic reverberation.
Vocal interface activated. Chimera neural processor linked to tricorder matrix. Unit calibrated for Chimeran psionic subspace frequency and localized data acquisition. Neural processor properties. Psionic activity detection. Environmental threat assessment. Foreign body analysis. Vocal interface activate. Neural processor command log. Consume. 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 Destroy. 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 Perfect. 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 Vocal interface activated. Psionic activity is increasing in your location. Caution advised.
You stand before a legion of death. You will be devoured, swallowed whole.
You're on the right path. Comms are improving. Signal is getting closer. Heads up. Second signal heading for the ship. Stay sharp.
Foreign body analysis. Scan results. Chimeran pustule. Status. Gestating. Composition. 35% multicellular bioform. 20% cybernetic augmentation. 45% vermiform embryo. Properties. Psionic emissions. Viscous retention field affecting movement speed. Vulnerabilities. Directed energy streams. Extreme heat. Trinitrotoluene charges. Store. Cryogenic suspension capsule. Stored at 77 Kelvin. Warning. Surrounding viscous compounds are hazardous. Compounds will evaporate upon collection or destruction of the source pustule.
Comms have cleared, and your signal is strong. You're almost here. You'll need to take the turbo lift to get to the shuttle bay. I had to seal the doors in your area.
Environmental risk level has increased. Caution advised.
Open your mind. Surrender your soul. We will absorb you. Inhabit you.
Great, you made it. Over here. Not so fast. Operator? But you're... I thought you didn't make it. Stand back. No sudden moves. Hands where I can see them. You're... me. Ezri. Haven't heard that in a while. It's Operator Z now. Has been for years. Well, I'll be damned. So this is what's on the other side of that portal. Nice pips. You're still a member of Starfleet? And you're... not? But I'm assuming you're here to help. Are reinforcements coming? Reinforcements? There's nothing but decay on my side of the fence. Looks like you're living a pretty comfortable life over here in comparison. Comfortable? We're in the middle of a galaxy-wide invasion, and our fleet was sabotaged by former allies who turned out to be Borg. You were allied with the Jean Resi. Those. They're from my universe. Oh, no. Not those. We call those Chimerans. Speaking of, I've got some pretty bad news. As suspected, Chimerans are indeed Borg. They're also... Trill, I know. My whole universe is swarming with them. Chimerans are also immune to assimilation, including Etherian fusion. They also can't be reasoned with, at all. They're volatile and corrupted beyond reach. Glad we agree. Listen, I'd love to chat. But as your friend probably saw, my shuttle was blown to pieces by temporal compression. You all still have a symbiosis commission here? I need to hitch a ride to Trill and warn them. We do, but I can't let you leave, Operator. It's too dangerous. We need to get to the Array's primary antenna control. There's a tri-quantum beam in there that we can use to close up that portal. I'm sorry, Z. We can't let it stay open. Fine by me. I've got few reasons to go back, and truth be told, I need your help. Heads up. We've got company. Can't let them take over the array.
We feast on your fear, your futility. Entropy is inevitable.
I'm not leaving a single one of these bastards standing. Not in my universe, and not in this one. Don't forget about those Chimeran pustules. It's good to see you again. I regret accepting help from the Ethereans so quickly. I'm sure many agree. I thought I had gotten pretty good at reading people over the years, but trust the Borg to fool any of us once in a while. Do you want to talk about our last meeting? How are you and Admiral Kumarke holding up since our last encounter with the Borg? The Aventine is being stripped of Etherean upgrades and diagnosed for sabotage with the help of Director Hugh and the Cooperative. I boarded the array with a shuttle and my advance team. I didn't want my arrival to seem imposing. This started off as a low-risk recon mission with the intent of engaging in peaceful first contact, not combat. So much for that. Tactical data acquired by the Alliance now confirms the Chimerans exhibit patterns of targeted aggression towards Borg variants from other quantum universes. They are also strongly drawn to protomatter. My research also reveals that a Chimeran's genetic framework is dominant in its expression, nullifying any Etherean genomic contributions. In short, they're immune to fusion and manipulation. The million latinum question that I happen to have an answer to. I located an unlicensed stock of protomatter containers in the primary antenna control room. They're flocking to it. I'm not sure how it got there or why they're interested in it. Maybe Operator Z can enlighten us before we move on. Anything you can share is valuable to us. Well, the Jean Resi were Borg long before they were Trill. In my universe, the Symbiosis Commission attempted to thwart the Borg by creating an army of joined Trill. That backfired, obviously. What do you want to know? When our world was one of the last standing against the Borg, desperate times called for desperate measures. An augmented army seemed like the only viable solution. What do you want to know? One of our brightest scientists, an egotistical Nakaj, created a protomatter-based serum and worked together with the Symbiosis Commission to experiment on select hosts and symbionts. What do you want to know? The Commission helped track down some of our best symbionts, and by that I mean symbionts whose former hosts had stood the test of time, fought in countless wars, and thwarted previous Borg onslaughts. They were resilient and ruthless in equal measure. What do you want to know? The Symbiosis Commission used a protomatter-based serum on the symbionts that was supposed to heighten their psionic abilities and provide them with biological tools to resist assimilation. Instead, it drove them to madness. And the Borg absorbed that madness when they one day broke through our world's defenses and assimilated all of Trill. What do you want to know? The Commission used the Tegan family's mining company to facilitate the extraction and stabilization of protomatter across our entire galaxy, and then used it to experiment on my people. When it became clear their project had gone wrong, it was already too late. The Borg were on their way. What do you want to know? How were they able to break through the Trill's defenses? And how were they able to establish such a firm footing in your universe? And what about our allies? Starfleet, the Federation, the Borg Cooperative. The Cooperative you speak of doesn't exist where I come from. In my universe, the Borg gained the upper hand in the incursion of 2409, when they invaded the Vega colony. The crew of the USS Aventine, one of Starfleet's finest, was tasked with a crucial mission. They abandoned the ship when the Borg boarded them. Their mission was unsuccessful. According to reports, anyway. I helped retake the Vega colony from the Borg and drive them from that sector. But of course, you never made it because you left. I wonder who captained the Aventine. As far as I can tell, they're just a horde without a head and no one to guide them. Trust no one who wishes to be their queen or otherwise control them. They can't be controlled and they can't be bargained with. Striving to do so only ends in death. Now these Borg seek out protomatter as sustenance without knowing why. I don't know how so much of it ended up aboard your array. There's none of it left in my universe. You're right. This might be hard to believe, but I owe you. The other you. Back in my universe, your counterpart was one of the leaders of the uprising. You fought alongside me in the faction wars of 2411. On the eve of the fall of the Federation, you gave your life in battle to protect me from an incoming blow. So even though I'm eager to get to Trill, I'm just as eager to repay you. Any version of you. You've got my word. Lead the way. Fight our way through this array and make it to primary antenna control so we can reverse engineer the tri-quantum beam and close that multiversal portal. Let's hope we find your bridge officer along the way. I'll also be collecting Chimeran pustules. Director Hugh of the Cooperative is calling in a favor. Actually, I could use a hand, if you see any along the way. And turn off that tricorder's voice output, would ya? We're practically announcing our next move to the enemy. I've managed to locate your bridge officer's position. We'll be with them in no time. Your officer might need shore leave after all of this. Z, did you have a crew? Once upon a time. I travel alone now, and I prefer it that way. It's easier. Don't leave any of those pustules behind. Who knows what they could turn into? Look out. These creeps are stalking the hallways.
Symbiosis is capable. No protection from chaos.
These parasites are beyond hope. They only deal in destruction. There's a storeroom nearby. Call it a shortcut.
You will be consumed.
Yeah, keep talking to us like you know what it means. Lucky dirtbag. We've made it this far. There's no turning back. We're closing in on primary antenna control, and I'm not sure what awaits us there. Can we still count on you, Z? My loyalties lie with your friend. But I could make an exception. We're almost there. Stick together, everyone.
Foreign body analysis. Scan results. Chimeran tendril. Status. Dormant. Composition. 40% multicellular. 40% cybernetic augmentation. 15% unidentifiable biofilm. 5% unknown. Properties. Suspended biomass obstructs visibility by 10%. Mild corrosion upon contact. Vulnerabilities. Long-term exposure to heat or acidic compounds. Store. Size exceeds cryogenic suspension capacity. No recommended course of action.